to win it in his return. Here goes Morant. He spins. Morant scores! And the timer expires. Count the basket. And Ja Morant wins it for the Grizzlies.
Check. Yes. One.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Q's Hot Takes Christmas edition. And I got my guy Ruff from Time Out Sports. Ruff, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. So to kick off the show, our final Ramily Only of the year. So let's go ahead and drop the intro, and then when we get back, we're going to talk about can our Lady Rams turn it around? They're currently on a 4-game losing streak, unfortunately. And can our men's team keep it rolling? They're currently on a 4-game winning streak.
21. Can you do something for me? 21.
Alrighty, Ruff. So let's start out by talking about our Lady Rams, who unfortunately they kind of are on a little skid right now. They're on a 4-game losing streak. Do you think they can turn things around in the new year?
Man, I hope so. I think that, it's a long season. But some of the things that I'm seeing, I think we don't put Amaya. Amaya is the best player on the team, the best scorer on the team. I don't think she's being put in the best positions to, capitalize. Sometimes we don't run the offense through her enough. And then other times it's like you running the offense. Sometimes you force it to her too much. Nobody else is open. It's getting open. I think Winston-Salem State, the Lady Rams as we call them, they got to do a better job of running action. And when I say action, I mean it needs to be more movement. Setting screens. Because when you look at pro teams or either other college teams, the teams that's most successful, they do a good job of playing as a team. That means cutting. Because you'll be surprised how many easy buckets you can get for yourself if you just run on transition. I mean, I'm talking about run fast, attack, sprint down the floor, post up, get ready. And then also on offense, when you have a guy or a girl, the ball is in their hands, you got to move off ball. Say two people doubling Amaya, somebody needs to be cutting to the rim. Find yourself in positions to where we can get easy buckets. And I don't see enough easy buckets by us. And another thing that's been really hurting them is free throw shooting.
Oh, Jesus.
If you can't make free throws in the game of basketball, you're not going to be successful. It doesn't matter if you get there 20 times a game. If you're going to make 12, you're leaving too many on the board, too many easy points on the board. So, I hope that we can turn it around. It's to be determined. We'll have to see. They'll get some time to be with family, get a reset. And I'm hoping they'll be able to come back in 2024, attack this thing, and get back on track.
Yes, sir, I agree with you. I'm going to piggyback off your last point that you made. Free throws have really hurt this Lady Rams team. I think it's about 2 or 3 losses that they have right now that if they shot better from the free throw line, then their record would look a lot better right now. I know in one game it really hurt them was the Pembroke game. They had a chance to get a big road victory at Pembroke, but we were really struggling at the free throw line. One of our Lady Rams, she got to the free throw line 4 straight times and missed all 4. I'm not going to put her name out there, but we know who it was. So little stuff like that really hurts you. And I know the Lady Rams pretty much they played their whole schedule on the road, and Coach Lamont wanted to do that because during her tenure, her teams haven't done well on the road. They're 32-48 in her 7 years on the road. So that's why she wanted to kind of challenge the Lady Rams because they do well at home. Last year they went 9-2. She wanted them to improve on the road. So far this year they're 2-5. So I think, like you said, when we're in these road games, we need to have better ball movement. Like you said, I saw in a short stretch in that Virginia Union game Monday when they kind of got hot. They went on a run to end the first half. They were moving the ball around. They were really sharing it. It wasn't sticking. And Amaya was getting some good open looks, because when you move the ball, you're moving the defense and you're going to get a guy or girl open. And a couple of times Amaya got open. So I think we need to have more of that. And I think at the Lady Rams, I hope they are going to turn this thing around. I think the biggest thing that they need is for Amaya and Kennedy each game to average between 17 and 20 points because unfortunately we don't really have the offensive weapons where we can be balanced and have, two or three other people that can chip in and give them, 10 to 12 points. I don't know if we can really count on that on a game to game basis, but I know that Amaya and Kennedy, if they're on the attack, if they're being aggressive, I know that each game they can lead us, get us 17 to 20 points each, and then the others they just chip in and do do their parts to help us get the victories. I think it's gonna help that, like you said, they're going home for the holidays to be with their families. They'll be able to reset, and then they have a short 2 game homestand when they get back. I know we open up with Elizabeth City on the 4th. It's going to be early tip off, 11 a.m. on the 4th. It's academic day, and then they have Virginia State on, I think it's the Saturday, the 6th. So I think getting those 2 wins at home, having some good home cooking, some home court advantage, because playing in games is not easy for opposing teams. So I think having the students there, really engaged, really cheering on the Lady Rams, I think that's going to be so huge for them. Having those 2 games at home, I think if we can get those, and like Amaya can get hot and be aggressive and lead us, I really think that hopefully they can turn things around because all of their conference losses so far are in the North. They haven't lost any divisional games in the South. So they're still in it, and they still have plenty of time to turn things around because they've only played 3 conference games, so they have a lot more conference games to play. So I'm excited to see what the Lady Rams can do in 2024. Rough to switch to our men's team. Go ahead.
I
Yes, sir.
got one last point on Amaya and the Lady Rams. It was one game in particular. I cannot remember which matchup it was, but she was on the bench uh, during the stretch, the final stretch of the game. I'm talking about it's like 3-4 minutes left, and she was on the bench. I did not understand that decision because we can't overcome her, missing out on that offensive punch. It
I'm
wasn't
trying.
last game. It was probably 2 or 3 games ago,
I'm trying to
and
remember.
I was like, "Where's
I think
Amaya
it
at?"
was.
I mean,
I think it was either Pembroke or Bowie. I think either one of those games. I think that's when she was, because I know she was kind of hobbling around, and then are you talking about the game where she hit that three to send them to overtime? Was that the game?
it might have been that game. I can't remember which game it was, but
I know it was
I'm
one
just
of those
saying that
games.
to say I didn't. Maybe she did get hurt in that game. I didn't remember the game. I didn't remember her being hurt at all. But
Okay,
either
but
way, I'm
yeah,
saying this to say that she. I didn't understand that coaching decision. I did. I mean, we can't overcome her firepower being on the bench, and the game was close late. So, you know, uh, it seems like everybody's gonna have to go back to the drawing board, players and coaches, and figure out how to get this thing turned around.
yes, indeed. And one more quick point. I noticed on the Ladies Rams roster on the website, I've seen a lot of girls that I haven't seen on the court this year. So maybe going into the new year, we can get some Lady Rams back. I don't know if they're hurt or other issues are going on with them, but I know a lot of these ladies I've never seen them on the court this year. So hopefully in the new year we can get close to 100%. I think that would help as well. And hopefully the Lady Rams. Another quick point, they have those gaps where they go long periods of time without scoring, and I think that's what you were talking about, getting easier baskets. I think playing before the defense gets set up. I think that could help them if they played a little faster because they don't really have the offensive weapons that really can play against a half court set defense. So I think if the Lady Rams play a little faster in the new year, I think that would help them as well. So switching over to our men's team, they're rolling right now. They're on the opposite end of what our Lady Rams are going through. They went 4-0 in December. So Ruff, how are you feeling about our men's team? Because me personally, I'm really impressed by them. They've had to dig deep in most of these ball games, and they found a way to go 4-0 in December. So how you feeling about our men's team?
Yeah, I love what I've been seeing. Everything hasn't been pretty, but that's life, not just sports. That's life. You got to be able to overcome adversity in life, and they have been able to do just that. I'm loving what I'm seeing from a tenacity standpoint from Dodd. He's giving you great defense. Uh,
Yes.
it's nothing cheap when he's out there. He's gonna make you think about it. And you got to have players like that. IP Isaac Parson is playing great ball as a point guard. Jalen Austin is doing his part, having some big games, double doubles even. So I'm just liking what I'm seeing overall from that team, from the guys. Uh, just got to keep on doing it. Going into 2024, got to keep that same mentality, keep those same habits, things that you can shore up on. You got to make sure that you look at it and you figure it out. Because what you don't want to do is, in wins, think that everything is good. It's not. You can always be better at something. And I know the coach here will have them, in the film sessions, looking at things that they can improve on. And I think they're going to be able to keep it up in 2024.
Yes, sir. And one thing I was really impressed about, I didn't get to see the game Saturday because I was out of town, but I saw that they were down 28-14 against Lincoln, and they came back and won that game. IP Isaac Parsons, he had a nice pass to Dodd, who had the game-winning dunk. It looked like he was trying to tear the rim off the goal. So I think that's what's been really impressive about them is how, no matter what's going on, they always find a way. They always dig in. They always keep battling. No matter what the score is, they're always going to keep, battling and keep playing hard. I know in their one home game, Clarion was giving them all they could handle. And our men's team, they found a way to win. I think that game with the overtime, if I'm not mistaken. And they had to, scrap it out. It wasn't pretty, but they found a way to win. And I know when they played Bluefield State, that game was back and forth for about the first, I would say, 30 minutes of that game. And then the last 10 minutes, our men's team held them to 9 points, and our men's team started to pull away. So it's little things like that where, it looked like this is going to be a special season for our men's team if they keep their head down, keep working. And I'm just really excited to see how far they can take this in 2024. I know Coach Hill will make sure that they never get complacent, never get satisfied, always stay hungry. Because when you get a win streak like this, sometimes you can kind of lose that hunger. But I know Coach Hill will make sure that they never lose that hunger because when they come into next year in CIAA play, they're the defending champs, so they're gonna get everybody's best shot, and they're gonna be like everybody's Super Bowl national championship game. So we gotta be focused, we gotta be locked in, and I just can't wait to see what 2024 holds for our men's team because I think they can go very far in the tournament. So we shall see. Ruff, so let's switch to our NFL action. Our Thursday night game is going to be a lot at stake. We got the 7-7 New Orleans Saints at the 7-7 Los Angeles Rams. This could be a potential elimination game, or if they both finish with the same record, whoever wins this game will have the tiebreaker. So, Ruff, how do you see this pivotal Thursday night matchup playing out?
Oh, that's tight. That's a close one. I think the Saints and the Rams are pretty much in the same tier of teams. I don't think neither are really that good. They aren't, they're kind of middle of the pack teams. Um, Chris Olave is expected to play, so that will give the Saints a bump offensively. Last week they were without him, and so Shaheed had to be the one for the Saints pretty much. So I think it's going to be I'm hoping it'll be a pretty good game because we know them primetime games, most of them have been terrible.
Yes.
But I think that the Rams are going to win a close one. I could see Cooper Kupp making a big play on the final drive, and they maybe win by a field goal.
Okay, I'm agreeing with you. I think the Rams, since they're at home, I think they found a way to get a close victory. I love the way Williams has been running the ball out the backfield. I feel like he's been over 150 yards the last couple games. It's been really impressive of how he's really put them on his back. Matthew Stafford, he's been, really spinning that ball. He's been, doing really well. Cooper Kupp. Uh, so I think the Rams, I think they find a way to get a big time victory as they're trying to, seal up a playoff spot. So, like you said, I hope this is a good Thursday night game because, like you mentioned, we've had some really bad primetime games. So I'm hoping with so much on the line, I'm hoping the Saints and Rams really give us a show. And on the Saints side, having Olave back, I think that's going to help. Uh, So we shall see, but I'm definitely taking the Rams at home. All right, so Saturday we're gonna have a doubleheader. The first game of that doubleheader is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I gotta take the Bengals on the road. Jake Browning, he's playing really well. Um, and I just can't really trust the Steelers offense to score enough points. uh, you brought up how Najee Harris, his vision is just horrible. I remember they showed a play where he went in the wrong hole, and if he went to the right instead of going to the left where it was wide open. And if he went to the left, he could have got 10, 15, 20 yards. So Pittsburgh, they have a lot of issues. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season as a coach, just because of how bad his offense is. Quarterback play is really fishy, iffy. Mason Rudolph is going to start Saturday. I'm not very confident in him, but he can't do much worse than Mitchell Trubisky. But I think I got to take the Bengals and Jake Browning with how he's been playing. They really dug deep and got a big win against Minnesota last week. So I'm gonna take the Bengals. Their offense is way better than the Steelers' offense, and I think that's gonna give them the edge. And this big time wild card, you know, two teams fighting for the wild card positioning. I think the Bengals have the edge because their offense is way better. So, Ruff, how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, back on Najee Harris. He was one of them guys that was better in college. He was a hype prospect, and he just doesn't look very good. Like you said, with vision, it's just not there. I mean, that left side was wide open, and he just ran right to the right where the defense is at. And their refusal to give Jalen Warren more touches is another reason they have a downfall. Jalen Warren is better than Najee Harris at running the football, at vision, and all of the above. But yet they continue to give Harris 13 carries and Warren 7. So, they deserve to lose. I'm a fan of Mike Tomlin, but I don't believe this has been his best season. I don't know if he's checked out. I don't know what it is, but I could agree with you that I think he may have his first losing season, and I could see him. I don't think they'll fire him, but I could see him as saying, "Man, he want to go elsewhere." I would not be surprised. And I want to throw this out there: if Mike Tomlin quits from Pittsburgh, the Chargers need to be on the phone quick.
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, that's a
So
deal with
I just think
Brandon Staley.
yes, they finally got rid of him. So I just think, yeah, like you said, Pittsburgh has a lot of issues. The Bengals aren't perfect either. They hurt. I mean, Burrow is obviously out. Jamar Chase is going to miss this game. He's expected to miss a couple weeks. So it looks like he might not play until the playoffs if they make it. But still have a lot of issues. George Pickens is always showing frustration. And it's hard not to be when you have Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett throwing to you. Now it's going to be what's your boy name? I went blank that quick.
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph. You going from bad to worse to maybe a little bit better, but still worse. It's just a mess in Pittsburgh. So I agree with you. I'm taking the Bengals.
Yes, sir. And George Pickens, I kind of feel bad for him. I hope they, get him a quarterback this offseason because Kenny Pickett's not it. And I don't think they have the right quarterback on their roster. So, among other things that they need to address, I think quarterback's number one on their board for the draft and the offseason. And our second game of that doubleheader is going to be the Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Chargers. For me, I got Buffalo. I'm still recovering from that beating they gave my Cowboys Sunday. I think they would be smart to lean on James Cook. Make sure you let him get over 100 yards rushing. The Chargers, they're awful. So the Bills, this should be a pretty easy win for them. The Chargers, they looked a hot mess. They let the Raiders look like a super team on Thursday Night Football last week and let them score 63 points. Without Justin Herbert, I just don't see this being pretty for the Chargers. Josh Allen, he's really taking it to another level. Uh, Ever since that Philly game, I feel like that was the beginning of that stretch where he's just been playing some good football, realizing that his team, they got to be perfect pretty much. They can't afford to lose. They need to win out and hopefully get some help to get in the playoffs. So I got the Bills here because they need this win. They're actually trying to go somewhere this year. The Chargers, like roughly like you like to say, they're ready for vacation, man. So, Ruff, who do you have in this matchup?
Yeah, it's not a tough choice. I think the Bills will take care of business. Like you said, you got the playoffs in sight. Chargers are a team that's not trying to win. They shouldn't be anyway at this point. Just like my Commanders, it's not going to help us to win any games at this point. So, I got the Bills. Like you said, Josh Allen has played a whole lot better, taking better care of the football. Even though last week he didn't even have to do nothing. That's how dominant they were on the ground. I mean, the man had less than 100 yards passing, and he just didn't have to do anything. But I love the fact that he didn't try to do too much. Because
Hmm.
sometimes Josh Allen will he be able to run the ball and make mistakes, and now it puts more ownership on him to have to do something. So I like you talked about James Cook. I like Ty Johnson as well. He's been running the football well
Oh
as a
yes,
complimentary back. So the Bills have the pieces on offense. They have good tight ends. They have a great quarterback, especially when he's making good decisions. James Cook has proven to be a good running back. Stephon Diggs, we know what he represents. So, they just have to be able to take each game seriously from the jump and take good care of the football. And if they do that on Sunday or Saturday, they'll have an easy win against the Chargers.
yes. I kind of wish we got some better Saturday games. I don't see myself looking at either one of these games, but that's how it's been lately. We're gonna talk about it later. Our Sunday night game is gonna be the Patriots and the Broncos. So man, but to move on, next we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Atlanta Falcons. For me, the Falcons they gave the Panther fans an early Christmas gift, let the Panthers win last Sunday. Desmond Ritter was awful, and now I think they're going. I think they said they're going with Taylor Heineke this week. The Colts they're fighting for a playoff spot. They can't afford to lose to a Falcons team who's just uh, they're like the Steelers. They don't have the quarterback, and when you don't have a quarterback, you're gonna be a hot mess as a football team. So I gotta take the Colts. They're playing for a lot. The Falcons, I think they're getting ready to go to Cancun in January, so they're not really gonna be playing for much, but you may be playing spoiler. But I gotta take the Colts with so much on the line for them. They can't afford to lose this game. Jonathan Taylor, they think he's going to play this week. We have to wait and see. It's just Wednesday, so that'll probably be a game time decision. But they could get him back. That would be huge for them. So I think they'll lean on their run game and they'll find a way to get a big win on the road. And Michael Pittman, unfortunately, that was really unfortunate what happened to him. I doubt he'll play this week. I think he has a concussion, so we'll have to see if he passes his concussion protocol. But that was just a really vicious hit on him. He had been playing well. So if he's unable to play, I wouldn't be surprised they lean on their run game heavy and squeak out a victory on the road in Atlanta. Ruff, how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I'm not spending much time here. I think that both of these teams aren't very good, but the Colts are better than the Falcons. It should be I think probably kind of low scoring game. I can see 16-10 in favor
Yeah.
of the Colts, but I do think the Colts take care of business and try to stay in this playoff race.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. Next, we got the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. Ruff, how do you see this one playing out? Detroit, they're fighting for playoff seeding, and the Vikings are fighting to get into the playoffs. So, who do you have winning this game?
That's a tight one, man. I think Detroit will squeak out a close one. Jared Goff is a guy too that kind of has a little bit of Josh Allen in him.
Hmm.
He can be a straight up monster when he's taking care of the ball, and making good decisions. But sometimes he just has that turnover gene, and he just throw up them YOLO balls, which means you only live once. For those that didn't know, um, but I think he's gonna value the football this week. They're gonna play a smart, controlled game, and I think they'll get a win.
Yes, sir, I agree with you. Now the Detroit, they have had some games where you look on the score, you look up the scores, and you see them down 27-7, and you're like, huh? How Detroit? But I don't think this is going to be one of those weeks. I think they got so much on the line, so much at stake. I think they get a big time road victory in Minnesota. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a higher scoring game because both teams have firepower on offense. And I don't think neither team really has a defense where you feel like they could shut somebody down. So if this turns into a shootout, I wouldn't be surprised, but I gotta take Detroit. They got so much riding on this game, trying to get the best playoff seed possible. That way you get a favorable matchup. So I gotta take Detroit. The Vikings, they're hanging. They're gonna be pushing it to get a playoff spot. So we shall see. But Ruff, our next game is the Seattle Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans. Seattle's coming off that big win against Philly at home. The snap, I think it was a 5-game losing streak. So does Seattle keep it rolling at Tennessee, Ruff?
Yeah, I think Seattle is going to take care of Tennessee. Tennessee is not a very good team. They pretty much one of the only elite players they have is D Hop at this point. And I think the Seahawks, understand what's going on. They're trying to see can they squeak into the playoffs. I'm interested in seeing will it be Drew Lock or will it be Geno Smith? Because they kind of played with us Monday night. They said that Geno was going to play, and then he never did. He was not the starter and never got in. So one thing that sports have always taught me is to never trust coaches.
Oh,
Coaches
yes.
lie through their teeth. And so, yeah, I think Seattle takes care of business, though. I like what I saw from Locke. I'm not a fan of Drew Lock, let's be clear. But on that last drive, he was special. So I think they'll take care of business either way, whether it's Drew or Geno.
I agree with you. We don't need to spend much time on this one. Seattle, they're playing for a playoff spot. Like you said, trying to squeak into the playoffs. So I think whoever plays quarterback, Geno or Drew Lock, I think they should lean on their run game, get DK, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, excuse me, involved when they need to. But other than that, I will lean on Walker and their run game. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one is like the Colts, like you said, that Colts Falcon game, ugly, low scoring, low teens type of game. Uh, I just see, both offenses really struggling. So the Titans look like Will Levis. He suffered a high ankle sprain, so I doubt he'll play this week. We shall see, but I think Seattle, they just got too much on the line, and they can't afford to lose this game. So give me Seattle in this matchup. All right, Ruff. So next we got your team, the Washington Commanders at the New York Jets. Your Commanders are the 32nd defense in the league, and the Jets are the 32nd offense in the league. So which one wins out here, Ruff?
Well, let me put it like this. I hope the Jets win. Like I
Oh,
stated earlier, we have no
yeah.
incentive to win, and we need to be losing. We're not going to playoffs, so try to get as close as you can to a top pick. Um, so like I said, I hope that the Jets win, but I don't know if they will because now it might not be Zach Wilson because he's concussed, so he's not good, but he's better than Simeon, I guess. Maybe I don't know. Both of them terrible, but it's like it's like both are down here. Maybe it might be like this, and reverse how you want to do it. But anyway, two bad quarterbacks. I'm just hoping, like I said, though, that we lose. Let me be clear that Ron Rivera, if they don't put him on a notice coming into this season, rough as you call me, will not have a team next year. I'll just be a watcher of football because I know that my team that I have currently is not serious about doing anything. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm going to pick the Jets. I'm going to hope that my Commanders understand that they don't need to win this. It does not help us to win. And so therefore I'm going to speak with my heart a little bit and say Jets.
Okay. If you do enter the fan portal, I got some Cowboy stuff that you can, that you can have,
You know better than that now. Hey, come on there.
I was just putting that out there. I didn't want you to be without the team next year. If y'all keep Ron Rivera, I don't see how you would keep Ron Rivera. He hasn't done anything to keep his job. I thought he was going to be gone before Christmas, but it looks like he won't be. Y'all are on a 5-game losing streak. I know I think y'all have the 49ers and Cowboys, I know, coming up. So I think y'all will get one more win this season, and I think this is the right one for y'all to get. I just cannot pick the Jets. Trevor Simeon, I cannot trust him to win a game. I think Sam Howell do you think it'll be Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett this week? Who do you think is
But
going to be the
they asked Ryan about that. He said he's expected to still stay with Sam, so it should be
okay?
Sam.
Okay. I think Sam Howell should be able to do enough against the Jets defense to get a close, ugly win on the road against the Jets. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a very ugly, low scoring game. But I just can't trust the Jets. They're just awful. Um, hopefully y'all don't have Trevor Simeon looking like Patrick Mahomes out there since y'all have the worst defense in the league. Fingers crossed. But I gotta take your Commanders for the one of the rare times on the show where I'll take your Commanders. Next we got the Green Bay Packers at the Carolina Panthers. The Packers kind of suffered a setback as they're trying to make the playoffs last week, losing at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rough. The Carolina Panthers, they pulled off a Christmas miracle and they won a very ugly game in the rain last Sunday. Will the Panthers make it two in a row this Sunday, or will the Packers bring them back down to earth?
Packers should win this game. Like I said, this again is a matchup of two poor teams. But the Packers are better than the Panthers. If they don't go out there and take care of business, that'll be a problem. I think Jordan Love will be able to carve up the Panthers defense to some degree. We'll see if Aaron Jones will be on the field with AJ Dillon, or will it be either or. Um, but I think the Packers are able to do enough. I will say that there was a time, maybe a year or two ago, that I thought that the Packers running back duo was elite, and it seems as if both of those guys have fallen off a little bit. Fell off a little bit. So I think that's something they're gonna need to address in the offseason, try to beef up their running back room.
So we have to see if that's something that they do this offseason. Um, I'm rooting for the Panthers. I would love if they could make it two in a row for their fans. I feel like that'd be the perfect gift for their fans for Christmas, but I don't feel confident enough to pick them on this show. Like you said, the Packers should win. Their playoff chances are hanging on by a slim thread. They can't afford to lose this game because if they lose this game, then I think they can just go ahead and get those garbage bags out. They won't be playing in any postseason ball if they don't win this game. So, like you said, Jordan Love should be able to do enough to get this win. So I gotta take the Packers in this matchup. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud is unfortunately still in concussion protocol, so I want to send my prayers to that young brother. It's just unfortunate because he was having a stellar rookie season, and um, concussions are nothing to play about. So I don't want him to come back until he's 100% ready. Unfortunately, this may cost Houston a playoff spot, and that's just unfortunate. Losing Tank Dale, and now your young rookie gunslinger CJ Stroud. It's just unfortunate. But I gotta take Cleveland. Joe Flacco has been playing pretty well since he took over. Last week was a little rocky, but I think Cleveland on the road, facing a backup quarterback, I expected it to be Case Keenum again. They should handle business. They're trying to, seal up a wild card spot, so they can't afford to play around in this matchup. So I got Cleveland. Ruff, how about you?
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate what has happened with the Houston Texans. Injuries can derail anything. Um, I was on the D'Amico Ryan Coach of the Year trail. Um, I thought they were going to win 10 games, and he was going to be able to pull that off, but now it's in major jeopardy. Like you said, CJ Stroud hurt, Tank Dell. Cleveland is a team that's played pretty well. They have a very stout defense. They have a quarterback that's been there and done that. You know, last week, like you said, he didn't play great at all. He was turning over the ball, but in the fourth quarter, he did step up and help lead them to victory. So I think he's going to be cleaner with the football this week and make better decisions. And I think that the Browns will win a game against the Texans, probably something like 20-10.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that. Next we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are just boy, they're reeling right now. They're really struggling at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rough. Does Jacksonville kind of turn things around here, or do the Bucks get a big victory at home? How do you see this one playing out?
Wow, that's tough. I mean, because Baker, you call him your guy. I don't know what you like about him. I'm still not a fan, but he had some good weeks. He's had some terrible ones. But wow, that's tough. I'm gonna say Jacksonville figures out a way to get this one. They're just a frustrating team because Trevor Lawrence is a guy that was anointed. I mean, they had him. They thought he was gonna be the best quarterback in the world. He was the most hyped prospect, pretty much coming out ever as a quarterback. And it's just not panned out. I mean, he has no excuses. You have a good running back in ETN. You have good wide receivers. Kurt was out last week, but you still have Calvin Ridley. Zay Jones can play. Evan Ingram has had a resurgence in the last couple of years with the Jaguars. So he's got too much around him not to be producing at a higher level. I think they'll get back on track against the Buccaneers and figure out how to get a win.
Yes, sir. And quickly, what I love about Baker Mayfield is his swagger, his passion, his flair. That's what I love about Baker Mayfield. But the Jacksonville Jaguars need this game bad. I mean, really bad. So I think as much as I don't have a lot of confidence in them, they need this win. Like you talked about Trevor Lawrence and all the weapons he has on offense, they should be playing a lot better than they are. So yeah, I think Jacksonville they find a way to get a big time victory on the road because they can't afford to lose any more games. I don't think they're in jeopardy of like blowing the division or anything like that because I think injuries are just going to take a toll on them. But they do. I guess they would have to watch out for the Colts. Maybe catching them, but Jacksonville they just can't afford to lose this game. So I got to take Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the Chicago Bears. I gotta take the Bears here. Justin Fields, he's been playing some okay ball since he returned. The Cardinals, they're not trying to win. They shouldn't be at least, because they should be trying to get the highest draft pick possible. So I think the Bears will do enough at home to win an ugly game. I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of turns into a little shootout. Because the Cardinals gave up a lot of points to the 49ers last week. They don't have a very good defense. The Bears defense has been playing pretty decent. So we shall see, but I think the Bears do enough at home to win. Ruff, how about you?
Yeah, that's a toss up for me, man. Like you said, two low quality teams, two bad teams. Um, wow. I'm gonna go with the Bears too in a close one. I think they'll just be able to do some things on the ground, like you said. Justin Fields should be able to kind of make some plays out the backfield with his legs, and I think they get a close one.
Yes, sir. This next one is going to be very intriguing. It's the first time that we've had a matchup of two 10-win teams that only have one win combined against teams with a 500 or better record. So here it goes, Ruff. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are really banged up. I saw before we came on the show that the entire Dolphins starting offensive line did not practice today. That is very concerning. I mean, I know it's just Wednesday, but I'm like, good God, you didn't have your entire starting offensive line. Ruff, do the Cowboys bounce back or do the Dolphins run them out of Miami?
It's hard to say, man. I mean, with that information you just gave me, I don't really know which way to go because I think if those guys are healthy enough to play, Tyreek Hill is healthy enough to play and be effective, not just play. He's going to need to beat Tyreek Hill. I think they'll win. But if you start talking about offensive linemen are out, Tyreek plays, but he's basically
Shell of himself.
shell of himself. He's a decoy. I think that y'all can steal it. So I'm gonna err on the side of the lineman being back and Hale being somewhat healthy. I mean, he did sit out last week, so that should help him. I think if he's out there, they're going to target him. They're going to pepper him with targets because he's trying to get to 2,000 yards, which is going to be it's no easy task. I think he needs 458 over the last 3 games, which is 153 basically a game. So it should be a good game though. I think it's going to be a good one. But I'm going to pick the Dolphins by a score, a low score, not a low score, but a score about 3. Close game.
All right. I've been going back and forth with my pick all week. But also the way the Cowboys got embarrassed, and I mean flat out embarrassed. So, I mean they got punked, bullied, whatever you want to use last week at Buffalo. That was just ridiculous for them. After they clinched the playoff spot, it looked like they just took the day off basically. They played with no heart, no energy, nothing. So I think the Cowboys, I think they need this win bad. Just for their morale, for them to, say they can go on the road and win games. Uh, the Dolphins, I don't think they have a good offensive line, even if they're healthy. I know in games that they've lost, Tua has gotten pressured, he's gotten sacked a lot, and the Cowboys do have a defensive line that can do that. Um, so I think the Cowboys, I think they get a close victory on the road. They need this game badly. So I don't think they can afford to lose this game after last week. So I gotta take the Cowboys. Um, Rough. Our next game, uh, man, it's gonna be ugly. But we got the New England Patriots at the Denver Broncos. Rough. How do you see this one playing out?
I think the Broncos win this game. Patriots offense is pretty, so the Broncos shouldn't have to do a whole lot, which is what they're clear that they want to do. They want to kind of run the ball. They don't want Russell Wilson to have to throw 35, 40 times a game. If he can be in the 25 to 30 range, 190 to 210 yards passing, that's what they like. And I think they'll be able to do that against the Patriots because they don't pose much of a threat offensively. And so I think the Cortland Sutton, Russell Wilson will make a play late or, maybe early fourth that'll help them win a game, probably by 6 or 7 points.
Yeah, I think Denver, they're fighting for a wild card spot. They can't afford to lose to a Patriots team who's really bad. I got Denver winning this game at home. I would say by at least 10 points. So we're gonna have a Christmas triple header, Rough. Our first game of our Christmas triple header is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. The last time these two teams played, the Chiefs they got down to the Raiders and then they stormed back. So, Ruff, do you think the Raiders can pull off an upset here, or the Chiefs handle business at home?
That's another one that's a toss-up. I don't think the Chiefs is as good a team as some think they are. They have some major deficiencies. But I think Patrick Mahomes will be able to understand the magnitude of the moment. We're getting close to the playoffs, and they know that they need to keep stringing together wins, not necessarily for seeding purposes because they're going to make the playoffs, but they just want to be playing your best ball going into the playoffs. And I think that Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey will be able to do some things in this game. And I think the Chiefs get a win.
Yes, I agree with you. And not only Kelsey, but I like what Rice, their rookie, I like what he's been doing lately. I think he's about the only receiver that Patrick Mahomes can trust, besides Kelsey. So I think leaning on Rice and Kelsey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he kind of had a big game last week out the backfield. He can do some things. So I think the Chiefs find a way at home to get a victory, a close, hard-nosed, hard-fought divisional game. So I got the Chiefs winning this matchup. Next, we got the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles, who, man, they've lost 3 in a row, rough. So can the Eagles get right against a Giants team who's probably going to be coming in fired up, trying to play spoiler on Christmas? But can the Giants go in South Philly and get an upset, or do the Eagles turn things around?
No, I can't see it, man. The Eagles, if they can't beat the Giants, they need to just go ahead and cancel Christmas. That's just a bad team, and that's when I knew when my Commanders lost to the Giants both times.
Oh yes,
I knew they were unserious this year. I just knew that it was a wrap. Get ready to tank. So Philly should be able to get back on track. Hurts, if that offense, if they can't have a 300-yard passing game against the Giants defense, you got major issues because you have too many weapons. You have a quarterback of Jalen Hurts' stature. You have a good running back in Swift, two good receivers, very good receivers. I think Devontae Smith could be a number one on at least 5 teams. Dallas Goedert can play. I think it's a top 6 or 7 tight end in the league. So you just have, and you got a good offensive line. You have no excuse for that offense to look as putrid as it has. I tweeted on Time Out Sports page the other day that Jalen Hurts has had 210 or less passing yards in 5 of the last 6 games. That's inexcusable.
Wow,
You got
that's
that kind of
crazy.
weapons, and you can't throw no more than 210 yards. What's going on here? So I think they'll get back on track against the Giants team that's just not very good, and on either side of the ball, honestly.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised they lean on that run game too to kind of get things going because the Giants aren't very good at stopping the run. So I think leaning on Swift, Gainwell, and their other weapons out the backfield, I think that'd be huge too. But like you said, when you got Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Goddard, you got to be able to figure things out. This offense shouldn't be as bad as it's been with all those weapons, like you said. So, like you said, if the Eagles can't beat the Giants, then like you said, they need to cancel Christmas, cancel the season, cancel everything, because they got the Giants twice and the Cardinals remaining. So I think they'll definitely be able to work some things out, hopefully during this 3-game stretch, and kind of get some momentum going into the playoffs. So Ruff, our game of the week is going to be our Monday night game. Should be a very good one. It could be a potential Super Bowl matchup depending on how things play out in the playoffs. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the San Francisco 49ers. Ruff, this should be a good one. Who do you have winning, and how do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, that should be one, man. I'm gonna make sure I'm stationary, ready to watch that one. Um, I think the 49ers, I just think that they're playing the best football of anybody in the league right now. Brock Purdy is playing at a high level. He's taking care of the football. Deebo Samuel has came back from being injured for a portion of the season. He's doing some great things on the ground and in the passing game. We know what George Kittle represents as a pass catcher and blocker. Um, Brandon Ayuk, can't forget him. He's capable of giving you 75 to 100 yards on any given game. And so I just think that they're going to be able to um, with their defense, I think they'll be able to neutralize the Ravens' running game, whether it's Lamar running, he's basically their running game, he's top guy, or it's the actual running backs. And I think if they're able to force Lamar to pass, they'll have some success because his deep ball throwing, especially, has been pretty inaccurate
Mm-hmm.
this season. And so I think, I look at him like Hurts to some degree. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Hurts. When you force him to throw the ball, I think you can have your way a little bit. And so I think that the 49ers will be able to kind of go out there, neutralize the run, and force Lamar to make, deep throws. And I think he'll possibly have at least 1 or 2 turnovers. And I think that's going to be the difference in favor of the 49ers.
Yeah, and losing Mitchell, I think that's going to be a brutal loss for the Ravens because he was a very explosive running back out the backfield for them. But I agree with you. I wanted to take Lamar and the Ravens, but their secondary kind of scares me. And going up against the 49ers and their pass game with the way Brock Purdy has looked lately, I think it's going to be very hard for the Ravens to go into San Francisco and get that victory. So as much as I'm pulling for Lamar and hope he can have a good game, a big time game, I think the 49ers are going to have too much. You look at the way Christian McCaffrey has been playing, he was just ridiculous last week. I know it was the Cardinals, but still, I mean, he was ridiculous how he looked. And Brock Purdy, he looks like the front runner for MVP. And I think if he has another big game against the Ravens are really good up front. They got some leaky parts in their secondary, but their front seven is really good. Now the back end kind of scares me a little bit, but this should be a great game. I got the 49ers winning a very close, competitive game. It's going to be a very physical game because both teams have some physical linebackers. They're very physical in the trenches. So this is going to be a physical hard-fought game, but I got the 49ers. Like you said, they're playing the best football in the league right now. So I got to take the 49ers. Ruff, I want to thank you for joining the show, man. It's always good to talk ball with you. You want to tell people where they can follow you, interact with you, and all that?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook, the Time Out Sports Podcast. Twitter is Time Out Sports 3. Instagram is Time Out Sports with 2 underscores. And my personal Twitter account is The Rough Way, DARUFFWAY with an underscore. So just make sure to follow us on all those platforms, and make sure to interact with me. We do all sorts of content, post, of course, highlights, polls, just questions. It's an interactive page. So make sure to follow me on all of those platforms, and hopefully we can have some good games going on this season, this week, and the rest of the way for the Rams especially. So Keith, I appreciate you for having me on this week, and hope you have a great holiday.
Yes, sir. You too, bro. And really quickly, what did you think about Ja's return last night? I saw he had 27 in the second half. What was your thoughts? And of course, he hit the game-winning shot. So, what were your thoughts, really quickly, on how he looked last night?
Good, man. Ja Morant is Ja Morant. I mean, it's no question about the kind of talent that he is, and that's why we're so irritated with the shenanigans. If he can stay out of trouble, be on the court, be healthy, he's amazing. He's explosive, and that's one of the things I'm saying about Zion and why I need to see him lose some weight. Because if you look at it, Zion looked like he was more tired than Ja, and Ja had missed months. I mean, he hadn't been playing basketball in a long time, but you see the shape that he's in. He's so slim that he's at top conditioning, and it's not going to do anything but get better with reps. So that's the only thing we're saying, man. Ja was great in the second half. He really was. He showed why we, love watching him play and what he represents. So if he could just keep his head on straight and honor the gift, as I always say, because there's millions of people that wish they could be in this position, to be 6'3", to be that kind of physical freak and athlete. It's something that God has blessed you tremendously with, and I just want to see him take advantage of it. So I think the Grizzlies, they've dug themselves deep with him being out. They got some ground to try to make up to get into the play-in tournament. I definitely don't think they're going to be no playoff team. I don't see them getting no top 6 seed, but I think they have a chance to get into the play-in tournament. And then depending on, whether Marcus Smart is back and a couple of pieces, I think they can, try to do something there. But Ja, man, like I said, he was great. He's Ja Morant. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's one of the better players in the league when he's locked in and focused on the right things.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. It was just so good to see him back last night. The Grizzlies, they've missed him because without him, they've been one of the worst teams in the league, and that's not surprising with some of the other injuries that they're dealing with right now. But like you said, that's why we get so frustrated with Ja, because of what we saw in that second half when he just took over the game and he was just cooking, man. That's all I'm hoping, off the court, he's really worked on himself, eliminated some of those bad friends that don't have the, right intentions for him. I'm hoping he kind of addressed his circle, and I'm hoping he can, stay on the floor this year, because when he's playing, he's so fun to watch, especially when he has a rolling, man. So I just wish Ja nothing but the best, and hope you have a happy holidays with your family, Ruff, and hope everybody who watches this, hope you have a happy holidays, and I'll see you guys in 2024. All right, take care.
Baby made a way for herself. They want credit, ain't did. She back outside, I'm in the field. If I catch you, you know what it is. That's right, she get the bitch. You ain't right.